I have a first comment and a question for Ms. Devine. And the comment, I watched the clip yesterday, and it made me think of what happens when if I have to, those long blizzards you have where you're like day 2 or 3 in the house, and you're just going stir crazy, and what I would do if I had like a multi-range of costume possibilities. It was so like unhinged in a good way. I'm just wondering, like, in terms of doing that, what comes first? Is there a character concept, or are you like, this is a crazy mustache, I'm just gonna do this thing with it?
No, in my head, usually it's a number of strange ideas I have, and like characters and things are just going on in my head. And then I think, well, I'd like to bring what's in my head to life with the budget I have, which is 0. And that's why the costumes look kind of low budget in that sense. But I do a lot of planning in that sense as to how to get the ideas in my head out.
So do you put like are you putting stuff on and then voices are coming out, or are you kind of creating voices and you're like, oh, this is going to go with it, like this crazy unibrow thing that I'm making, or like...
No, in my head, I already think of the character, then I think, well, how can I make the character look like what I'm picturing in my head? Like, the Russian mafia super is supposed to be this crazy guy, and I don't look like a crazy guy. So I thought maybe if I cover up myself with, some masks and, wear a huge jacket and put these things on, I wouldn't really look like a girl. I'd look like, I could try and look like a scary guy, and that's how it happens.
Well, and I think that's okay that, because we do know that it's all you, and that's okay because it is low budget, and that, we're fine. I'm fine with that. And I like how you were resourceful in putting the costumes together the way you did.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Because you're, instead of pretending that it's something that it's not, to just accept and acknowledge the way it is, that's, I think, what makes it work.
Well, I am that character when I'm playing it. I'm not just thinking like, oh, I'm dressed like the character. I'm playing that character, and it's part of the storyline I've created, and that's the way the storyline is going to be. And here, then you heard in Brooklyn, Network Access.
Absolutely.
I do want to jump off something that you were talking about in terms of group dynamics, because with the two of you, we have 2 very different field-based segments, or sketch-based segments, where you were doing, unless I'm wrong, you were doing everything in terms of the writing and the shooting and the actual production of it solo, unless you had a crew?
Solo,
And also the written material.
Yeah.
And then you guys have a group of 4 or 5?
4.
Okay, so 4 members. So what are some of the, I'm just going to go ahead and use the word complications. The complications as well as the benefits to both sides, doing it from a solo perspective as well as kind of sharing and bringing multiple ideas into a piece.
Well, I'm always willing to work in a group, but I don't really have any friends. That was a joke. But what I'm saying is it's sometimes hard to find the kind of chemistry you want with other performance actors, and sometimes you may have an idea to film something and they may be like not at all interested in your idea, not at all interested in the characters. So if you want to make something come alive and you want to pursue your dreams, you're going to have to sometimes do it yourself rather than just wait around forever. So that's one of the reasons why I end up going solo. It's not that I'm going solo, it's just so far I haven't really encountered a lot of people like, oh, this would be kind of cool, I have tried to work with some other public access TV personalities, but it didn't really go very far.
I like how description personalities.
Well, so it didn't always, I guess everybody has their own ideas of what they think, things should be, and if they're not interested in it, then why be a part of it?
It's kind of like a band. Like
yes, it's exactly, yes.
Like a marriage in a sense.
Yes.
Because I've had experiences where I've worked in improv groups and companies or writing sketch shows, and sometimes the chemistry is great, and we stay together for a while, and then all of a sudden, everybody's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
So it is a very intense relationship.
I think with me, I'm not really sure if I really ever classified myself as a comedian. In fact, I don't really see myself as a comic because most of the stuff that I do doesn't really have a punchline. Again, it's kind of just ideas that I have in my head that I that I bring out. And using your comparison of a band, you know, there's an artist called Captain Beefheart. He kind of just plays, he does his thing. What category of music, what genre will you put his music in? Would you say it's rock, heavy metal? You know, you really can't really pinpoint a category for his music if you know, kind of listen to it. So I think in general, it's just me as an artist expressing myself, and this is the medium that I've gone and represented it with. And these are the characters that I have and the films that I've decided to put out. And a lot of times it does get a laugh, but I don't really think when I'm doing it, gee, is it going to get a laugh? Are people going to like it?
Right.
Sometimes people don't like it. Sometimes they hate it, but it's there because I like it. And I feel satisfied with it. It's my adrenaline rush. It's me, the way I express myself. So that's the way I guess I would see it. So I don't know if it's so much comedy, but generally I really love cartoons. So I watched a lot of cartoons, so still do.
Yeah, well, Steve Martin said comedy is serious business. And Mark and I were talking earlier about how whether you're a stand-up, sketch comedy, or comedy writer in all the different facets of comedy, and how serious we all are. And that, you know, it's, you know, some people, I love, and people say comedy is easy. You know, because we were talking about the obsessive mind earlier, and how we'll get an idea, and I'll get an idea, and I will go over it and over it and over it, like you plan your characters, and clearly, you know, when you write a sketch or the Stooges, it has to be choreographed. You know, it's a whole thing. You know, so I think the funniest, for me, I think the funniest comics or comedy people are the ones that aren't going for the laugh. They have something they want to say, and in the comic venue, sometimes you can even get away with more. You know, if you watch South Park, I mean, a cartoon, they get away with stuff that real people could never, even, you know, there would be way too much fallback.
Yeah. Speaking of Steve Martin, you know, the movie, The Man and Two Brains, was it? The man with two brains. Did you see how passionately he was talking to that brain? I mean, that was just one of the funniest scenes in that movie. I love the way he did it.
Absolutely.
You know.
And Woody Allen, you know, if you look at his films, none of those characters are ever laughing.
Yeah.
You know, to them, it's life or death.
They're into it.
Exactly.
That's what makes it funny.
Yes.
So I'd like to, unless there are any questions from the audience, I'd like to end on a question that I think it's been hard for me to answer this, but who or what is something that's underrated that makes you laugh? That you're like, why doesn't the world think this is funny? Either a person or a thing. Like, I asked a friend this, and he goes, bathroom graffiti. Bathroom graffiti, and when people draw, draw graphic images of private parts, I will try to speak without saying words, on like subway ads and things like that. He's like, why doesn't the world find that funny? It's like, I think most people actually find that funny. But yeah, what do you have something that you laugh at? You're like, come on, this is hilarious. Or a movie, or a book, or a cartoon.
One movie that I really liked was a movie called The Dark Backward, directed by Adam Rifkin. It's actually from the 80s. Many people have not heard about it, but I love the story so much. It was about this comedian who started to grow a third arm out of his back. And he would say these stand-up jokes every night that nobody liked. It wasn't funny. And I think the way the characters were developed was kind of more like surreal. It wasn't the kind of movie that you would just laugh, you know, by watching it, but I just loved the way all the characters interacted with each other. But that director went on to direct Detroit Rock City, and he never made a movie like that again because nobody liked it, I guess, except me. So, you know, even if you read the reviews of it, there are either people that like it and the people that don't like it. And I think one thing when you make something, a lot of times that's usually good, you never find, people sometimes just hate it or they really love it. You never find the in-between when you find something that's extremely unique. And another series that I really liked was a show called The Young Ones. It's a British television show from the 80s. I thought that was really great. You gotta watch it.
So I'd like to give a round of applause to everybody, all our producers, Yvonne, staff up here, and hang around for the rest of the house party today, and thanks for coming.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
I love Captain Beefheart.
Sorry?
I said I love Captain Beefheart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.